In BIM360, a role represents a disciplinary role in the real world that has specific functional access and permission levels associated with it. Roles can be leveraged within the services and the two administration modules, Project Admin and Account Admin, to standardize permissions and workflow settings. This provides administrators with a fine-grained control to ensure that each member has only the access they need to complete their assigned tasks. Before we create the roles in BIM360, it's important to understand the configuration requirements for each of these individual roles. As shown on the screen, we need to create 5 new roles within BIM360. The Module Leader role gets access to all the assigned modules, including the Insight module. Each of these modules will be assigned the administration privilege controls. For all other BIM360 roles, we will assign member access, but ensure that we exclude access to the Insight module. As an account administrator, we can create these new roles in BIM360 by navigating to the Roles tab within the Account Admin interface. As you will see, BIM360 already comes with some pre-configured roles. These can be removed from the system if they are not required. New roles can be added by simply entering the name of the role into the search field. Here we are adding in the External Examiner role. Note that I am using EE for short. To add the role, simply select Add. You will now see that EE has now been added as a role. I'm going to repeat the process and add in TA for Teaching Assistant. Again, I click Add to add the role. I select ML for Module Leader and add the role. Next, I add a role for Students All using SA. Then click Add. Now we want to add in individual roles for each student. Here I'm using SI for Student Individual, then 001 for the first role. This will denote that the first student number 1 is SI 001. I repeat this process for as many students as I require. Here I'm going to add in 002, 003, 004, and lastly 005. We will also need to create roles for student groups. We're going to use SG for student group and then 001. And select Add, and finally I'm going to add student group 002. You will now see that we have added in all the roles required for our hub. To make this easier to understand, I'm going to remove the pre-existing roles that came with BIM360. To remove the role, simply select the 3 dots and select the Remove option. Once we have the roles created, we can now assign the associated services. Once all roles have been added to the system, we can now define the access for each of the roles. It's important to note the difference between the two access symbols when assigning access to a module. You will see an orange cog denotes that this is admin access for this particular service. The blue icon means that this is member access. Ensure that we assign the correct access to each of the roles. For the configuration of this hub, we must assign admin access for the module leader to all modules. To do this, simply click on the no entry sign associated with the service and select a left click to change it to admin access. To ensure that you're in the correct service, it's nice to hover over the icon at the top to tell you which service this is. I will then continue to assign admin access to the module leader. For all of the other roles, they must be granted member access to each of the services, excluding Project Admin and Insight. To do this for the External Examiner, simply activate the member access. When finished configuring the role access, it should look similar to the below. You will see that the module leader has access to all modules at a project administration level. All other roles are granted member access to all modules, excluding project admin and insight.